Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a little bit of a while since I've done a little risk video. However, there was one little video here that I wanted to do. I played a risk game recently. It was actually yesterday. First game in a little while, and it's pretty much a standard Balkans versus Middle East play. And this time I went in Middle East, but I had a bit of a slow start trying to kill off yellow and this red guy who spawned down here. So I couldn't get to Turkey by the end of turn 4, which is quite sad. And unfortunately, the Balkans player in this case is Joker, who's also a very talented player. So it's a bit of an interesting game here because this happens very often where you're going to have the Balkans and Middle East having this death fight in Turkey, and the winner essentially secures Middle East. And the mistake I often see is basically the Middle East player trying to shut down the Balkans player too early. And in this case, if you look at the army sizes, I've got a lot of Marines for my spawns. I kept a decent amount alive by getting an early medic out, so they're all quite healthy. And I've got some more coming up from the bottom. But I know Joker, he lost a little bit, but he had um he had a lot more income than me for a few turns. He had about, 6 more income than me early. And for if you take that into account for 4 turns, he's pretty much got two, maybe a 1 turn more income than I do in his bank. So if I even check his bank, he's got 50. He's got a card. He's going to come out with 80 next turn, which is a lot for an early fight, especially if he puts all of that into tanks with all of his spawn marines that he's going to be getting. Myself, on the other hand, I actually have nothing. I've got no bank left. I've only got 14 cards from finishing the south, and I've got no army, so it doesn't look that great for me in on paper against his push. So I'm gonna try message him. Hey, I tried to message him. Can I get Turkey? And he said, "Good luck, have fun, Brown." So I'm like, okay, look, I know this fight's gonna come. Um, but what I do know is because it's going to be a straight up even fight 1-on-1, I've got the advantage as a Middle East defensive player because even though we're same income and he's essentially got maybe 40 more income worth of units than I will have, he doesn't have Ukraine, and that's kind of like a massive part for Balkans player. Without having the Ukraine spawn marines, you can't really threaten Georgia and Armenia and all of that stuff. So if he had Crimea, Ukraine, he'd actually be able to send units to flank my north and cut my income there, which would be quite scary. But instead, it's going to be a full-on fight in Turkey, and this is where you're going to see the strength of the Middle East position over the Balkans push. So my goal here is I'm not going to build tanks. The mistake here is if I get sucked into tanks, I know he's going to have more bank than I do and more. He's already got an existing tank, so he's already essentially 20, quote unquote 20 minerals ahead of me. So I'm not going to build tanks. I'm going to opt for marauders, and I'm going to opt for a spread defense between 2 barracks. So this is what I mean by this is he's going to have to fight me because I'm happy with my position at the moment. I don't really want to fight him. So I'm going to spread my army in this little formation between my 2 barracks, where I can reinforce my army with marauders on whichever side that is weaker for him. So say he has 4 or 5 tanks and he's holding these tanks up to the north. I'm not going to build my marauders at my barracks in the north. I'm going to build them in the south so I can flank his tanks and snipe. And you're going to see how effective this is. Like you, so with I had 40 minerals. If I built 2 tanks, great. I've got 2 tanks in this army. It's really strong, and he's already got 1 tank. And if he's got 82 in the bank now, if he throws down say another 3 tanks and 20 more marines, he's going to have a 4 tank advantage. He's going to be 2 tanks over me, and I'm never really going to win that trade in that case. So yeah, as you see, look, he pumps out, he opts for the tank strap. It's really solid. He can take favorable trades, but you can see straight away what I do. I straight away build marauders in the south. You see, he goes for the north, I go for the south, and I'm gonna opt to as the income comes around, I'm gonna opt to build 1 tank with my next income here, and so I'm gonna be playing on a 2 tank defense here. And 2 tank defense is really, really strong. Is really, really strong because that's enough to wither his meat shield in the north, and in the south I can then start target firing his stuff. So again, I'm going to pull back the middle, force his units in a bit more, and the moment because I've got his 2 tanks in the north, all his meat shields are in the south. I'm going to opt to build double marauders in the north to focus down these tanks. And boom, 1 tank down. I'm now 20. Essentially, I'm 20 minerals ahead in this trade because he's already lost 1 tank. So anything else that I gain now is just pure advantage. So again, he comes forward again, and the marauders, boom, I'm already 40 minerals ahead. And you can see the KD already, it's massively in my favor, and there's actually nothing he can do now because I'm even tank advantage, and I've got a massive amount of marauders over him. So it's kind of GG at the moment already for him. And that's all because he opted for too many tanks into my double barracks defense, where I can choose whichever side I want to defend out of. And you see, he's going to try and focus my marauders in the south. I'm going to pull them back and then just target fire the other tanks, and it's over now. There's nothing he can do. One more tank dead, target fire the vultures, and yeah, game's over. As you see, I can reinforce him 2 barracks. He can only build marines from his starport, which is kind of rubbish because you need the micro on your army. You don't really want to be. You can't double select your barracks and then select the starport also. So you have to manually select it to build marines. So it's just like, I don't know. It's a really really rubbish push for a Balkans player to try and break the Middle East. But yeah, I mean he tried it. He tried it. Again, I snipe his other tank. I get everything. I get his marauders. A spawns too. It's just free real estate here. And yeah, that's essentially how, if I'm playing the Middle East, I just defend against the Balkans push. Especially even if the Balkans has more than me, which he did. He had, you know, 4 more tanks or something than I did. It's essentially you just play to your advantage, play to positional advantage. And in this case, I'll take all of the Balkans, and I'm in a extremely comfortable position at that point in time because I'll be fighting. I'd have a corner low in the center of the map, and the game's pretty much over. And as you see, it's a 16-minute game. I end up closing this out pretty easily. Um, but yeah, hope this helped anyone that finds himself in this position. What I would do if I was a Balkans player, if I don't have the Ukraine front, I wouldn't invest in so many tanks in the center. I think waiting for one more turn of spawn marines would have been better for Joker because he's got nothing to lose really. He's gonna have the same amount of spawn marine income that I'll have as a Middle East player. So if he had one more wave of spawn marines in his army and he maybe built 1 or 2 Goliaths, I'd say through 2 tanks, so he's at 3 tanks total with a Goliath and medic and more marines. He would have been able to break me in I think 1 or 2 turns later than the push that he did hit. So I think it kind of sucked that he didn't have Ukraine, but yeah, Balkan's play can still win that if he just has more Goliaths and he just plays a smarter game. But preemptively pushing into a double barracks defense is always going to suck. But yeah, hope this helped anyone. I know some people were asking me to play, to make a video for a while and do more stuff about Risk. Yeah, so hope you enjoy.